Hey guys, welcome back. This is awkward, but welcome back to another episode of AreWeNerds podcast with me on the phone, Emily, and
Emily!
And?
I'm Trisha.
It's Emily's solo episode. So she's going to discuss Fruits Basket, everything about it, with her roommate, Trish. It's going to be great. I hope you guys enjoy. And I'll catch y'all next week.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
As Emily told you guys over FaceTime, this is my solo episode. They've done a solo episode. I've not done a solo episode.
Cool.
And we are talking about one of my favorite series of all time, Fruit Basket. So excited. This is our special guest. This is Trisha. This is one of my roommates. Super lovely. We love her. Everyone welcome her. She's here.
Here.
Yes. All right. Now, we're going to talk about everything Fruits Basket related. So the first thing I wanted to talk about for Fruits Basket, well, I guess before we even get to there is, why do you love Fruits Basket?
Such an easy question. Fruits Basket, literally the first manga I ever read, literally my whole introduction into anime and manga, and it's just such a beautiful story, such a poignant little tale. It creates such strong emotions, and it's beautiful, and it'll always be my first manga and my first introduction to all that stuff, so it's very dear to me, very special.
No, I think the reason I love Fruits Basket is just such a, it's just, I love how you get to see the characters grow throughout each, in the manga, and I watched the anime first, so before I read the manga, because I did go back and read the manga, but you can just see how the characters progress throughout the story. They have a very, clear progression, and I think that makes them very appealing, but they're also, they don't hide. I feel like sometimes with animes and, mangas, sometimes for certain romances specifically, like shoujos, they'll kind of hide the flaws of characters and make these people seem perfect and make these relationships seem perfect. And Fruits Basket doesn't do that. And so it's not realistic that you would turn into a zodiac animal, but I feel like it's more realistic than other shoujo animes and stories.
Yeah, the characters are very round and dynamic and grow and change a lot throughout the series, rather than just being very flat. And it also shows so much about their background and how that affects who they are now, which is also something I feel like you don't get in a lot of other series.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's why we love Fruits Basket. Now, first thing I want to talk about is the slow burn of Fruits Basket.
It's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn, especially I forgot how much of a slow burn it was until I rewatched the anime with you. And I was like, oh my gosh. You don't even get to Kyo's true form until the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And that's I feel like that's pretty early in the manga, but now that I'm looking at it, it's really not.
It's book 6.
It's volume 6?
It's volume 6. So it honestly is pretty early.
Jeez.
Which I was obsessed with that specific volume as, a younger person, which is why I know that specifically. But it also surprised me how they took 25 episodes just to get through 6 volumes.
Yeah, I feel like that just I feel like that's not that many chapters.
Yeah, I would be interested to actually do the math and figure out how the division of the first chapter episodes, or first season episodes versus chapters lines up with the second and third season. Yeah. I feel like they do start speeding up in the later seasons.
They do. Fruits Basket is a very slow burn at the beginning, but then when it takes off, it just takes off, and it's a lot. Like, it can be very emotionally draining.
Yeah, and I feel like so much setup and so much exposition is like what makes the payoff so good. Like
Yes.
that's what makes slow burns so good in general.
Mhm.
Like they, can hurt a little to get through all of the beginning parts, but it just makes the payoff like so much more rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And especially like I realized that we didn't even say what Fruits Basket was about, but if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you know what Fruits Basket is. This isn't like a intro to Fruits Basket. This is like an in-depth discussion about Fruits Basket.
101.
No, but I feel like especially when you get to like the payoff of Toru and Kyo ending up together, it's just like so rewarding. You're just like, because you've seen their growth together as a couple since the first season and like the first volume, and like his true form is like the big like their big test, but they still don't get together for like
exactly
ever.
It takes them so long to actually like admit their feelings and like agree to actually being a couple. Like
it's crazy
when they actually do get together, and she's like, so like that means I can like hold your hand now. I remember that was so specifically emotional for me, because just like, anyone who's yearned for someone else, all you want to do is be able to be like publicly with them and like hold their hand and be with them. And so the fact that it takes so long just to get to that point, it's like, and you see them go through so much.
There's also the added fucking little plot that they turned into fucking animals.
Yeah.
Which makes it so, I feel like extra rewarding, because at the end, obviously, the curse is broken. But you don't know what the curse is, really, at the beginning. So, like, it doesn't just slow burn the romance, it also slow burns, like... Does that make sense? It slow burns the resolution of not just the romance, of the curse just being broken in general. But also, I will say, the slow burn can be... It's a positive, but it can also be a negative that I feel like turns people off of the show.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, season 1, I like it just as it is. But it does take a long time to get to, like, a very, like, intriguing part of the story. Like, Kyo turning into fucking Charmander. Charmander?
He does look like Charmander.
He looks like Charmander.
It's
Charizard. Yeah, that was so funny when Avery yesterday, we were watching the movie, and Avery, they show Kyo's true form. Avery's our other roommate, and she literally goes,
She's like, yo, Charizard?
Charizard. So, I don't know, I think it can be like a pro and a con, depending on how you are.
Yeah. The beginning is just a lot of like introduction, like almost like slice of lifey, just like high schoolers, like blah blah blah, going throughout their day, also turning into animals. But yeah, it gets crazy.
Dude, they're so cute in their animal form, though.
They are. Yuki was cracking us up.
Yuki, when he's like with his he's like this.
He's so serious, and it's just this like potato-shaped rat, like
literally a potato-shaped rat. That's so. It's so. And then when he like has his little soldier army come up, oh my gosh, we were like eating sushi at like fucking like midnight on the couch watching this, and then Yuki just came up in his like rat form. We were cracking up. It's just so funny. All right. Next thing I want to talk about is the connections between the characters. I don't really know what I meant when I like wrote that. It's like, I think I was more so talking about like how I really don't know what I meant when I was saying connections between characters.
I mean, I think there's a lot of really, really good connections. I mean, mostly between Toru and everyone, just because that's the type of person that Toru is. But
that
like,
is the type of person Toru is.
Like her friends, it goes through, how she is so connected to her two best friends, how she becomes so connected to like Momiji and little tiger girl. Like she truly does have like a very unique, special connection and like a deep emotional connection with almost all of them, which I feel like is also kind of rare. It's not just like the love triangle and she's only like forming crazy emotions for these like two dudes and oh no, like which one is she gonna pick? Like she really has deep emotional relationships with all of them.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better. No, I really don't know what I was meaning when I wrote down connections between characters, but I think where I was going with that was like each character is so, I mean, obviously it's the Shama family, so they are all kind of in this clan together, but they're connected in such weird ways, not just by their zodiac. It's like just such a unique experience that only they have being a part of the zodiac. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, they can only, like, especially with their parents, because as we all know, in Fruits Basket, there's a lot of mommy and daddy issues.
Yeah, they all suffer.
So it's like, but the reason there is, like, mommy and daddy issues, mainly mommy issues, is because having a zodiac child, like, makes you very, like, depressed, and it's, like, very, like, taunting on your body, and, I mean, imagine not being able to, like, hold your child.
Yeah.
Because it, like, how the fuck would you milk that? Like, how
would you nurse a,
like, just,
a
like,
small animal?
Did I say milk? You meant nurse. Yeah, that's just, like, I don't know. It's just a very unique relationship they all have with each other.
Yeah.
That
Definitely unique.
I find very interesting. Very
unique
interesting.
Trauma, unique circumstances.
That they can only relate to. I will say, because you brought up what's his name? Funny? Momichi? You brought him up. Can we talk about two things? One, his glow up.
Crazy.
His glow up was insane. Two, the fact that he was in love with Toru.
She has that effect on people.
I know. I felt so. I don't know why. I never noticed it.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea he was in love with her until, like,
yeah,
they like talked about it, and I was like, what?
He does spend a lot of the series like acting like a 8-year-old, pretty much.
Yeah. So. And then all of a sudden he's like,
suddenly man. Yeah.
I'm a man. Which, like, really. Okay. Favorite characters. Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously Toru is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
For sure. She's just best girl.
I feel like Uo is just so good.
Yeah.
Like, her backstory, her devotion and love for Toru, like, everything about her and Toru's mom. Such a good friend, such a good character.
I do love me some delinquent friend.
Exactly.
I love her. I also really like the horse. I don't know her name at the top of my head, but the horse that's with the cow. I only know them by their zodiac. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it's Rin. Right?
Rin? I think it's Rin, yeah. I knew it was with an R, but I didn't know if it was Ray or Rin. Not the cow. The horse that's in love with the cow. Which is such a... Yes, it's such a weird sentence to say. The horse that's in love with the cow. But, I really like her. I love her, like... I love her backstory, which is basically just, like, she's, like, utterly depressed. But she's doing everything because she wants to be with... What's his name? Haru? Hatsuharu. She wants to be with him. And so she wants to break the curse so they can, like, actually live a life together. And the way she, like, begins the series, like, resenting Toru and, like... Yeah, I mean, they do... But she, I think, was extra resenting her. Yeah. Because she was like, what are you able to do that I'm not able to do? But then, like, she grows to be, like, best friends with her. And it's, like... They're so close, and I just really love her backstory. She shows up season 2. You get, like, a glimpse of her at the last episode of season 1. And then she shows up season 2, and you actually get, like, more of her. But she took so many hard hits for that family from Akito. Akito, yeah. So I just, like, I really like her. I really, really like her. And the doctor who, what's his zodiac animal? Seahorse. Yeah. Just a little.
Put that motherfucker in the bathtub.
I really like him as well, and I like his redemption, like love story with the teacher.
Yeah,
That's really cute. So
yes.
I would say like those are my favorite.
Yes.
Those are my favorite characters, and Kyo, obviously. Kyo, best boy.
Obviously.
Kyo, best boy.
Obviously.
It's so funny. I feel like everyone when they start the series is like Team Yuki. Like at least the anime. Everyone that I've talked to has only watched the anime is like Yuki, and I'm like, I love Yuki.
See,
The Yuki and Toru.
I do feel the same way. I feel like most people I talk to are that way. But not to brag, I was Team Kyo from the start, from the jump. But I really do feel like almost everyone I've talked to was Team Yuki at the beginning.
I was Team Yuki.
Yeah.
But then I like realized like no.
I love the aggro ones though. I can't lie.
I love who Yuki ends up with though.
Yeah. So sweet.
They're so cute. The fact I saw this TikTok the other day, it was like when they tell you I love you, but Yuki broke a chalk for her. Because you remember like how he broke that piece of chalk for her. That's such a small detail. That's such a small detail, but he broke a piece of chalk for her, and it was very cute. Do you have any other favorite characters?
I really like Ayame just because he's super silly.
Yes,
that's it. He's just funny as shit. Really silly. Great, light, funny character who's just ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. I love him.
Yeah.
Nah, he's
so
great.
Funny.
I think just this is like the whole boy group is just
the three of them are so funny.
they're so. I will say though, Dog. I don't know his name. Dog. You're so much better at names than I am. I'm like the dog, the cat. No, I know Kyo's name obviously, but he's such a manipulator.
It's true.
He knew what he was doing the entire time when he had Toru, and like I know a lot of people who hate him for it. I get it. I get the hate club for him. I personally don't hate him. Because as much of a manipulator as he is, if he didn't have this plan, Toru might have not broken the curse. And then, like, would they have ended up together? Like, would Kyo and Toru have ended up together if those things didn't happen? And, like, obviously he wanted Akito to move a certain way because he wanted her to himself. So, which that whole relationship is weird.
It's a little weird. Yeah, that one I didn't really see the like development quite as much, but there's a lot of characters.
There is a lot of characters, and they're all good.
Yeah,
I don't
hate him either. I think good intentions, even though he can be kind of weird and creepy, but he's also just kind of silly at heart. I think.
Oh, let's pause. We have to let the boyfriend in. So I'm just gonna open. I'll be right back. You want to talk to the camera? Tell them your thoughts. Go ahead.
Wonderful series. I think reading it as a literal 12-year-old really shaped my frontal lobe and shaped my view of romance. So if I don't get my slow burn with someone really angsty, I don't think I'll be fully satisfied, because that's what I've come to expect now. At the same time, I think if someone was as mean to me as Kyo kind of was to Toru in the beginning, I don't know if I would have the gentle and understanding heart to not just be like, oh, you're being mean to me. It's over. So, not that I'm saying you should allow people to be mean to you. Only if you see into their deep, dark, messed up heart and realize they're only doing it because they have no other way of protecting themselves. Don't let people be mean to you.
Can we talk about the openings and endings? The first opening is so good.
Banger. I feel like it really sets the tone for the show too.
Yeah. Where it's like
sad, kind of happy, just emotional.
I love
sweet.
I love how it's like sayonara, arigato. We would always sing along to it. It's so great. All right. Okay, let's talk about the movie now. I know you have a lot to say about the movie. All right, passionately. What were you guys? If you want to know my thoughts on the movie, I'll briefly mention it after Trisha says her points. But I love the movie. I cried a lot. We watched it last night. I once again cried. I didn't think I was gonna cry, and then there I was, violently sobbing. So, but what are your thoughts? Very passionately speaking to the mic.
I mean, I just don't see why they had to make the age gap so weird. It just makes the whole thing weird for me. And like, I get it. Maybe it's more like normalized in Japan, but at the end of the day, it is a child and an adult. And I don't really see why they had to go that route. Like, it's not. Yeah, I just feel like it could have been the exact same wonderful, tragic, loving story with a little bit less weird of an age gap. Like, she could have at least been in high school. Like, why did she have to be literally 14 years old? It's just a little strange to me, but you know, it still was a very emotional tale. I still also cried, you know? Like, I get it. Hashtag love is love, you know? And seeing her pull herself together for Toru was really inspiring and sweet, and their relationship was sort of sweet. The way he snatched her literally from the front stoop of her house was also a little weird to me.
The fact that he knew to be there.
Yeah.
That was a little weird to me.
Yeah, exactly. She clearly was just like going through it.
Very vulnerable.
Emotionally. Exactly. And when you are in that type of situation, you're very vulnerable, and very, you know, prone to being influenced,
manipulated,
by grown men. And yeah, I just think it could have not been quite so groomy in that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally fair because this wasn't written anywhere. Like, this was an original story. Like, this wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not like what I would love for them to animate is. Have you read this Fruits Basket and Other? It's about their kids.
Oh.
It's a manga about their kids.
No idea.
But like the prelude is like nowhere. I don't think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but
I was also wondering.
I don't believe it's like it's a manga anywhere. I don't know. But if you take away the weird age gap, it's just such a beautiful story of like, especially like when he dies and like she's really down and depressed and she's literally about to take her life away. And then here's a kid like screaming at their mom and was like, oh shit, like I have a kid at home, like what have we been eating? Like how, like it was just a blur to her, and the way she really did. No one wanted Toru or Toru's mom around. Like they didn't have a family. And so the way, like besides their grandpa, like Toru's grandpa, which was her dad's dad, besides him, no one else supported them.
Yeah.
So like she really had to pull herself together to raise Toru, and she raised her so well. I mean, Toru's a freaking angel.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
that's what made it like even more emotional and sad. Like Katsuya was literally all she had, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, before Toru was born,
mm-hmm.
and then just to have like your pretty much single person in the world who really loves you taken away.
Yeah.
And like to have already so much trauma in your past and sadness in your past. Just have all of that just compounded upon. It's so sad.
And also, like, you could tell that Katsuyo was a good dad for Toru.
Yeah.
And he was a good, like, as weird as the age gap could have been, he was a good dad and he was a good husband to her. He never cheated on her. He was very, like, communicative with her. Like, when she found out she was pregnant with Toru, like, really, like, uplifted her. So it's just, like, even more sad because it's not even, like, they had, like, it was a good marriage. They had a good relationship going, which was, like, just another thing about it. But what would you rate the movie?
I would give it 7 out of 10.
Really interesting. It could, I will say, and I said this before, it could use not the whole 30-40 minute recap.
Exactly. That I was about to mention that too. It is a lot of recap, which, I mean, if I hadn't seen the series, I feel like that would make me potentially even rate it higher because ending of the series is good, but I feel like I'm not even considering that part in my rating because I'm like, oh, that's just from the anime, so like that's something else. But I feel like truly as a standalone, it might be a little, it might like hold up more.
Yeah, I think when I like first watched it, I said like the movie watching experience for me was a 10 out of 10 because I was just so emotional. It had been a very long time since I had seen the ending of Fruits Basket 2. So I think I like was just kind of like how I felt in the moment. But now rewatching it, I think the standalone as itself, like the prelude part of it, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. I wish they showed more about like how, because he was dead and then she was depressed and then it was fine. They didn't really show her like picking herself back up.
Exactly.
And I wish they would have shown that a little bit more.
Me too.
So there's that. But then with the recap, it would be like, it's just because it's just so much recap.
It is.
It's so much recap.
It is. And I feel like it's hard for me to even like separate that from just
because you don't even
anime.
You don't even get the title of the movie until the recap is done.
Yeah.
It's so like funny. Literally like the last 3 episodes condensed into like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Alright, a thing we don't like about the story. I will say, I always let it slide because it is a story. It's a fake story. And it's just, you know. But the age gaps sometimes are a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm like, it's fine, it's just a story. But if I had to be like nitpicky, like when the rooster and her friend end up together, like she's in high school and he's like almost 30. The rooster, the one whose curse had already been broken.
Yeah. Another weird age.
They end up together, and then Akito and Shigeru? What's his name? Yeah. Them ending up together, kind of, I don't really know if they end up together.
That was also my impression that they do.
Right? I think they do. It's not really, like, clear.
Yeah.
And maybe it is clear and I just, like, didn't get it, but, like, the impression I got was that they ended up together. But, like, I don't know how much of an age gap that was, but he was, like, considerably, he wasn't, like, I mean, he was still a child, but, like, he was there when she was born, because remember, he woke up crying because, like, God had been born.
Right.
So that one's just kind of, like, a little weird. Also, him sleeping with her mom.
Right.
That relationship's a little weird.
Yeah. No, there are some weird age things throughout the series.
I mean, at least the main couple is not.
Yeah, I do. Thank God for that.
Yeah, the main couple is the same age.
They at least spared us that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, it is a little slow burning in a good and bad way. I feel like it can be a pro and a con. I think it's very rewarding at the end of the series, But I think when you're watching it for the first time, if you don't just vibe with like you said, the slice of lifey-ness of it, then it's like I could see why you would drop it.
Yeah, me too.
So is there anything else you don't like about the series?
I was saying this a little when you were bringing Nathan in, but sort of just like how kind of mean Kyo is to Toru at the beginning.
Yeah.
I get it, and as you go throughout the series, you understand why he's like that, and like why he feels like that's the only way he can protect himself, and why he feels like he has to act like that. But Toru has just already been through so much, and just takes all of his like sharp fighting words just with like a smile, pretty much. I don't know. I feel like she just like has to absorb so much of his trauma and his anger, and like I think because she's also been through so much is part of the reason why she can understand him and realize that even though he does not outwardly say a lot of nice things at the beginning, or like can be very aggressive and like closed off. I think them both having a lot of trauma in their past is why they kind of understand each other, and why she can make it through that phase with him rather than just being like, what the heck, like you are literally mean to me. But it is just kind of like, dang, why does Toru just have to go through even more?
No, that's like totally fair. I didn't even think about that. That's 100% fair, because like you said, I get why he does it, because he feels like he has to like protect himself and protect her, and like hurting her more. But I feel like you're hurting her by being mean to her.
Yeah, it seems like it's her job to fix all these traumatized people, and it's like she's already a very traumatized person herself. Like
she kind of does. Like that does feel like her job throughout the whole series is to fix these people. When it's like, who's gonna help her?
Exactly.
I mean, I guess like everyone is helping her, and like by being themselves and by like giving her a home.
Yeah.
In a way, but I feel like that's a very valid point, that she is a very traumatized character within herself, and she's fixing all these other traumatized characters.
And just no matter what they say to her, no matter how they act, she just
endures it.
Is passive and like accepts it, and it's just like, oh, it's fine, like I don't know.
I know that like Emily, she finished the show, but it took her forever because she would just get so mad for that very reason. Of like, and I feel like if Avery were to ever watch the show like fully, she would be like, I don't know if she could like endure the anger, because it is very infuriating the way they treat her, especially Akito. But then it's like, how do you feel about that? Like, because some people are like, I'll never forgive her, and some people are like, she made up for it. How do you feel about that?
See, I don't know. I feel like the Somas are just such a unique bunch. Like having that much trauma in your past like really does mess you up as a person and make you do like terrible things. So I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't remember as much of the Akito redemption arc. So I don't even really remember a ton about like what she does to really like amend for her wrongs.
She doesn't really do anything. She like, when Toru falls off the cliff, she like tells them.
Right.
And like she like hugs Toru.
Yeah. See, I think there could have been a little more accountability
there. And she tells them that she's a girl.
Right.
Which they make it very obvious in the anime. In the manga, I feel like it's not very obvious, but in the anime, it's very, very clear that she is a woman.
Yeah.
Just because they insinuate it so much. And this is not even being from like a looks perspective, because that's obviously like not correct. Like, someone can be femme like appearing, what we consider femme appearing, and not be a woman. But I feel like it's just they insinuate it a lot in the anime. Like I feel like they just hint at it a lot more than they do in the manga.
I do agree. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone does bad things, but it's about taking accountability and making concrete changes in your actions.
Yeah, I mean, she did let Kyo not be imprisoned for his whole life.
Nice.
No, I'm not an Akito forgiveness. I'm not. I am, but I also am like, I feel like it's I don't know. Everyone says I'm like Toru, like, because I'm like, I feel like so unproductive to just keep hating this person.
Yeah.
And it's like, if someone's genuinely, like, it doesn't take away from all the bad stuff you've done, but if someone is genuinely going to change the way they are and take a better course of action for their life, then what's the point of continuing to hate on this person?
Exactly.
But that doesn't discredit, like, everything that they did in the past. So I wouldn't say I'm an Akito forgivist. I would say I understand that it's just, like, to me, it just seems unproductive to keep hating this person.
Yeah.
Especially when the main people that she hurt have already forgiven her.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. My last question for you. Manga or the anime?
I don't feel like I can fully answer that since I didn't necessarily watch all of the anime.
It's a lot. But from what you did see like a good...
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say manga.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it makes the slow burn even better somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I feel like reading it originally, took me a while, just between having to, like, buy all of the volumes, because that was back in the Barnes and Noble's days. So either me and my friend would just go, like, sit in Barnes and Noble and treat it like a library and, like, read a few volumes while we were there, or we would have to buy them all. But yeah, I feel like the anime, especially just only the first season, I'll say, makes it just slightly a little tedious, and I didn't feel that way when I was reading the manga.
That's totally fair. I will say I like, as much as I love the classic manga style of it, I do prefer the, like, now anime. I wouldn't say I prefer the anime over the manga. I just prefer the art style, the modern art style more. They just look so funny.
Okay, I would love to talk about the art style.
Go ahead.
That was the craziest thing for me and my friends when I was younger, like, seeing how much the style changes from, like, the first volumes to the later volumes. And I will say, me and my friend hated the style of the later volumes, like the last,
It changes drastically.
Dramatically, but what we did not realize is that it's because, like, the author got into, like, a terrible accident. And had to relearn how to draw, pretty much.
Oh, you did tell me that. Yeah. I didn't even...
So,
shit.
It's for a reason. It's not just, like, the artist was like, I'm gonna draw worse now, Like, it was due to a tragic circumstance.
How fitting for...
Exactly. And I did not realize that until probably, like, a year ago. Like, very recently did I find that out.
Well, now I'm just very thankful that they finished the story.
Exactly.
Because, like, there are so many cases, like Nana, the one that I keep telling you to, like, read or watch, that's never going to be finished. Hunter x Hunter, like, who knows if that's ever going to be finished. Like,
so true.
So now I feel more appreciative.
At least it got finished.
Finishing it.
That is so true. That is so true. The art style changing so dramatically is a little bit of a weird thing to cope with in the manga. But at the same time, something I like about reading manga is, like, seeing an artist develop and seeing the style change. That was something I especially love with Bleach. Like, Takeomo's style is insane. But it is different because it gets, like, arguably worse.
Yes. It does.
Rather than better.
But the dialogue is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about Fruits Basket? Anything on your mind that you would I'm trying to think of like other things that I wanted to talk about Fruits Basket. Those were all my points that I had written down, but just any like last minute thoughts. I will say I don't actually have any of the Fruits Basket manga. You do. You have the OG though.
Yeah.
That they don't sell anymore. You have to like get it from people who are like selling it online.
Yeah.
Which I like a Depop. A lot of people like just sell random volumes. Yeah, I guess like people just have like their old collections and they're just so that's a good place to check.
I would be interested in finishing out my Fruits Basket collection. I think I'm missing like 10 through 15 or something like that.
Yeah, because now they only sell the collector's edition, and that's the edition. Because okay, the reason I haven't bought it literally is as you can see. Well, you guys can't see, but you can see my bookshelf is full. That's why I haven't started collecting it, and also because it's $20 a volume because it's like the big hunkin' volumes.
How many are there though?
I think it's like 12. Or yeah, something like that. This series is a long series.
So like cut it.
Yeah.
I think there's 24 or 28.
So honestly, for this only being 3 seasons, I'm kind of impressed because it's a long story.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing that they take 25 episodes to get through 6 volumes.
But then they just go
within, what is it, 25 plus 13?
Yeah.
38
episodes.
Get through the next, like...
all the rest of the chapters.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Season 2 and Season 3 really pick up, like, fast. I feel like the beginning of Season 2 is still kind of a little bit of a slow burn, but not as much. It just goes by... because they're, like... initially, it starts with them trying to decide their careers.
Okay,
and then that's when Yuki's, like, in his existential crisis. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, my parents, like... and so it just gets heavier immediately.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah. I love Fruits Basket.
I love it. All
right. Well, that is all the questions I have for you. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. Everyone say thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Trisha. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm very happy because Trisha's the only other person I know in my life who is as passionate about Fruits Basket as I am. I love it. Oh, and then you're gonna have to come back on the podcast because now that we're not watching Fruits Basket, what are we gonna watch?
It's
I did.
No time, baby.
I did say that whenever we did the Fruits Basket that I would start Death Note. Well, we are gonna start Death Note. I was like, that's something I need to watch with someone. So we're gonna start Death Note. Death Note is one of her favorite series. I've never seen Death Note. You guys know how Emily feels about Death Note, so I'm excited. We have a Death Note scroll in our in our hallway. We also have a Bleach scroll. Anyway, so don't forget to check out our other social platforms to stay up to date with our schedule and what the AreWeNerds team is up to. You can follow us on Instagram at AreWeNerds_podcast. Twitter, I started kind of tweeting on the Twitter a little bit. It's at AreWeNerds. I've only tweeted about Noragami because I'm single-handedly going to bring Noragami back. You need to read Noragami and watch it. Well, I'm almost done collecting like up to date because I bought like 10 volumes the other day.
I would love to read it.
So, if you want to discuss anime, manga, books, and anything else more in depth, you can join our cute little community on Discord. We would love to have you. You can click the link in our bio in the description, or in something. It'll be somewhere. You'll find it. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see everyone next week. Bye-bye. Bye.